Samp and Chance, let's get it started.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Boxing. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, here with my man, Mr. Chance, Michael's Chance. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good yourself?
Can't complain, can't complain. It's Thursday. Weekend's just around the corner, man. Here we go. Everything is beautiful. Quiet weekend in the boxing front in the terms of any kind of big name fights this weekend.
Yeah.
But fights are happening. But I think there's more things going on outside of the ring and making noise than things that are actually happening in the ring. And I'm referring to the ongoing Zuffa versus the World battle. What do you make of it? Or should we talk about Brandon and Jai Opetaia first?
No, we'll get into the headlines that everybody's talking about. I love it, man. I love it. I love that Dana White's taking all these guys on. One, needed to be done. Two, it's great entertainment. Three, it gives us something to talk about.
So, yeah, I know, definitely. I mean,
and it's funny because on yesterday I was watching a little bit of First Take, and they brought
Stephen
it up.
A?
Yeah, Stephen A. said nobody's putting on the good fights. All the promoters, he didn't mention names. He's talking about Bob, Oscar, all these American, Al Heyman. They didn't put on the good fights. Dana should have put on the good fights. The only thing Stephen A. left out was Turkey came, saved boxing as far as giving us Fury Usyk, Bivol, Beterbiev, all these fights, right? Turkey did that. So Dana's trying to do that. It's going to take him a long time to build it up. But he's here and he's giving boxing a shot in the arm, and definitely needed it. It's going to make all the promoters do better. Now, Dana Wright, and I love Bob Arum. He's the greatest boxing promoter of all time, but he's right. He goes, he's been in this for 50, 60 years and have an effing TV deal. So I'm not competing against Bob Arum because he has a TV deal. Bob Arum has a great stable of fighters, but he's got no TV deal. And Dana's right.
No, he's not wrong in a lot of aspects. But
and one more thing before you get in here.
Yeah.
I think MVP stole, wouldn't steal. Now that MVP has that deal with ESPN, the Women's Boxing League, I don't think Top Rank's getting that ESPN deal now. They got the Women's Boxing. They don't need Top Rank.
No, I mean, it's who gets to the punch first, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, and I get that. And you know what? I have no problem with Zuffa with what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Okay, but to say that they're putting on great fights and they're doing great things, yeah, the fights are okay, but they're not great. I mean, at the end of the day, let's be honest here, okay? And I'm not taking anything away from any of it. Dana saying I've already put on 4 shows, no one else has done anything. Well, you know what? Eddie's put on 4 shows too. Right? Let's just be fair. Let's just call it that, right? The other promoters, yeah, De La Hoya's done 1. I think Top Rank's done 1. PBC hasn't done any, right? Fair. I get that. That's neither here nor there. But the issue I have is that the fights that they're putting on, they're good, but they're not great.
Not yet. There's been a couple of the prospect fights have been pretty good, but as far as name value, no.
Right, but to call their cards superb and this and that. And here's the other thing that I'm going to take away from this. I love Max Kellerman. I love Joe Tessitore. Right? Andre Ward. I love them. But if you listen to them commentate, I'm going to be really honest here. Maybe because you and I are advanced, most of the people that we deal with are advanced when it comes to boxing and analysis and breaking down the sport and understanding it. Yeah. The way they commentate, and this is just an observation, it's like boxing for dummies. You know what I mean? Like even Max Kellerman, it's watered down. It's just almost like too homerish for me. Like it's almost. Do you know where I'm going with it? Like it's just so homerish. Like okay, the Jai Opetaia fight. Okay, man, that guy could do no wrong, even if he was doing wrong in that fact, right? Like it's just we complain about the British guys being homers, right? I've heard you say it before, though. British commentators are they're
the biggest homers. But I know what you're saying about Joe and Max. They're doing that.
But that's what's happening here with this, right? So the reality is, the other thing is, for me personally, I don't have a problem with it. Everything has to take time to grow. From UFC 1 to UFC 15, it wasn't the greatest product in the world. It was discombobulated. Yes. It was all over the place. It took time to grow. Anything good in this world, no matter what team, the Steelers, we're going through a horrible phase probably right now for the next 5-6 years until we can rebuild, right? So I'm not saying that Zuffa's rebuilding, but at the same time, it's going to take time to grow. Four cards in, Jai Opetaia, it was lackluster. It wasn't a great fight, with all the hype put around it, everything, oh, he's coming, this is this and that, and we're expecting this huge thing. Dude, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Jay did what he was supposed to do. He ran up a guy. He ran up against a guy in Gallant who just refused to go down.
Yeah.
Jay couldn't get that left hook over. He couldn't get it off. He just couldn't because he was in his face, right? That's the only way that Gallant could have even survived in this fight is if he stayed inside with him, and he did. He took everything he took from him. Jay, if Jay's calling out David, David destroys him.
The way he looked last fight, yeah, Dave will take him. Dave will tear him up.
Right? David would tear him up. I mean,
the thing with Dana, what he's done is he's got all these box motors pissed off. He's got Eddie pissed off. He's got Frank pissed off. Well, I haven't heard what Bob said, but you know Bob ain't happy. De La Hoya is pissed off because they realize this guy's a potential threat because we saw what he did with UFC. If he does that with boxing, we're screwed. So these guys got to step their game up. But like Dana White said, had you guys been doing your job the last 10 years, me and Turkey never would have been here. But you guys refused to give us the fights we wanted. And so we said, up yours. We're going to do our best to give this great sport a shot in the arm.
Well, like I said, I want to be completely unbiased here. No one complained when Turkey was making all the fights for all those guys. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he elevated boxing, right? He elevated boxing in order for Zuffa to come in. If he didn't come in the way he did and helped out Eddie, helped Frank, helped, Bob, Al Amen, probably in my opinion, of all of them, Amen's the most ungrateful.
Yeah.
In that sense, right? But, and again, I don't have anything to back it up. It's just a statement, in my opinion. But, I look at all of those guys, and if it wasn't for Turkey coming in and doing all the things he did for them, are they just upset that now that Turkey's playing with someone else? You know what I mean? So a lot of
that's exactly what it is.
Well, some of it has to come from that as well. But here's the problem I have with Zuffa right now and with Turkey. And we're not a political program, but with the way the world is playing out right now and the things that are happening, if you follow the news, you'll know what I'm talking about. My concern is at what point will this money dry up in Turkey land? You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to dry up, but when are they going to say, okay, we're going to put a cap on some of this stuff? Because,
well, I think Turkey already kind of is. I think by him going in with Zuffa, it's kind of he's pulling back a little bit. I'm not going to always give you these spend crazy amount of money, overpay Tyson Fury, overpay Usyk for all these crazy fights now. I still will, but you can tell he's already cutting it back.
Well, but the other thing I wonder is, what is Turkey thinking watching Zuffa? Because, I mean, Turkey's all about the big fights. He's about the stadiums. He's about the crowds. He wants to see it. So if Turkey's at home watching this, because he hasn't showed up to one of these cards yet, right?
Yeah.
Was he at the first one?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, so he hasn't showed up yet. We haven't even seen Turkey in the building. For Turkey, for his thinking, from what we know about Turkey Al-Sheikh, okay, and what he expects and what he wants to see, Zuffa's not showing him that yet. And I hope he's of the mindset that this is, like you say, and I've been saying,
I think he knew that.
It has to grow.
I think he wanted to make a grassroots organization that him and Dana built from the ground up, instead of just helping, like you said, he's helping Frank, he's helping Eddie. Why should he? He's like, we're going to start our own and build up from the stuff. We're going to build from the ground up instead of just me paying all this crazy money to appease you guys.
He's already paying crazy money in the terms of Conor Benn here, right? I mean,
he is, but at least it's his own thing now. But
here's the question I have for you, and I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't know, but it's just a thought, right? If the money starts to dry up in Saudi for these kind of things, then what do Dana and Zuffa do? Because they haven't spent really any money out of their own pocket for this. It's all come from Turkey and Sella.
Yeah.
Right? Not much has come from Dana. If Dana was running this Zuffa style, the way they run everything else, then we wouldn't be having these conversations in terms of fighter pay, this and that, because everything would be what it is, right?
He'll have to call Nick Khan, call up Ari. We need some more money, buddy.
But they won't even put it out there. They wouldn't even put it out because if they haven't done it for any of their UFC guys. Let's look at that White House card. I know we're a boxing program, but this ties into it completely. Majority of the fights that were announced, look, we talked about it off the air, okay? The casual fan has no interest in this card, except for the fact that it's at the White House. The fight.
Well, they want to see Gaethje versus Opetaia. That'll be a good fight. That one.
Okay, but again, this goes back to what you said, right? But they're not household names.
Gaethje is in the States, but he's not a Conor McGregor or John Jones.
Yeah, but that's what you want. That's what you're looking for, is those names for this particular card.
You know what I do if I'm Dana White?
Though. But the way they built. Sorry, go ahead.
There's one guy that can save this card because Jones priced himself out. You're not going to get $30 million, dude. You're not getting that. So that was ridiculous. Now Jones is all crying and going crazy on the internet. Like, dude, they offered you a decent money. You didn't want to take it. You're friends with Big Don, so I don't know why you're not there. Call up Brock Lesnar. Who do you want to fight? Put Lesnar on the main event. That'll have the whole everybody.
Well, Brock's going to ask for the same kind of money.
He might get him for 15, 20.
No, but they're all asking for that money based on what they just saw happen. Okay, like if John Jones is $30 million,
yeah,
Ronda Rousey's 50 and Connor's 75.
Well, they're not going to get that.
But logically speaking, in terms of what they contributed to the company, right?
If you put John Jones versus Brock Lesnar, which said they want to fight each other, that'll be the biggest MMA fight of all time.
I'm going to tell you honestly, this is not Dana's fault. This is not Dana's fault. This is TKO's fault. Okay, they don't want to pay people, and that's the sad part. I mean, the reason they don't want to put Conor on the card, they pulled him from the card specifically because they realized they'll make more money off of him at International Fight Week, where they actually have to sell tickets. Like, from what I understand, they're losing about $60 million on this White House card.
Yeah, okay. And I don't blame him for the Conor thing, but like the problem is with this White House card, it'll be a good fight, it'll be a cool atmosphere, a cool setting, but we were expecting John Jones and we were expecting Conor McGregor.
Dude, they were expecting so much. They had one. They've been building this card up in our minds for a year. Okay.
Yeah.
Dana said it. Dana has said it. I'll find the tape. He said this is going to be the greatest card of all time.
Yeah, I've heard him say that. Yeah.
Okay. Everyone's been saying it in the organization. They've been hyping it up. And then when they finally delivered, it's a good card. I said it's a good card on X, right? Oh. It's a good card if you're a mixed martial arts fan. It's a great card if you're a mixed martial arts fan. But for what this particular card is, it has no appeal to the casual fan. Outside of the fact that it's being held at the White House, the only thing that they can possibly hope for is that the casual fans tune in because it's at the White House, and then be able to build these names up a little bit, right?
Well, the main event's good. The Gaethje fight's going to be a good fight.
Hey, dude, absolutely, it's a great fight, and it's going to last 1 round, 2 rounds tops, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is again, it's like we say it in wrestling all the time. The casual fan. Well, UFC is about the casual fan too. It's always going to have its diehards. It's always going to have that. Without the casual fan, they can't grow, right? Without the casual fan, boxing can't grow. Now, if you're trying to appeal to the casual fan in Zuffa, I'm just going to tie this back to boxing. If you apply that to Zuffa, what they've shown in the first 4 cards that they've done, which have been good if you're a boxing fan, which has been great if you're a boxing purist, right? For the prospects to see who's coming up. Dude, that's what we love to see. It's like a true hockey fan will watch AHL, OHL, WHL to see who the prospects are coming up, right? Mm-hmm. The same with us when it comes to combat sports. We watch it all because we know who's who. I know who Ilya Topuria is. You know who he is, right? We know who all. The only guy I don't know on this card, this White House card, is Ruffy, the guy who took the place.
Well, this is a big chance for if Ilya Topuria destroys Gaethje. This will be his stepping stone to becoming into a major star here. This is a big chance for him.
Dude, he basically, I think he will. And Makachev. Okay, so here's the thing: Makachev decided he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Last minute. Okay. Gaethje didn't even know till Saturday afternoon that he was going to be on the card.
Yeah.
Right? Because Makachev pulled out. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. You have the John Jones situation.
That's too bad.
I don't know who's telling what because both guys, John Jones to me personally is the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to take whatever he says with a grain of salt. He's been called every name in the book. Now his feelings are hurt all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
If you really wanted to fight, you could have said, "I'll do it for $20 million." He would have been on the card. Like, he didn't want to do it. I don't think he wants to fight ever again, and I think he priced himself out as an excuse of not to fight. That's what I think he did. Because here's the thing: you and Donald Trump are good friends. You shake his hand. You praise the guy all the time. He said you want to fight for your buddy. So if you wanted to fight for your friend or whatever you want to call him, your president, you would take $20 million, but you priced yourself out knowing you wouldn't get it as an excuse. I don't think he wants to fight again.
Well, that's potentially it. He's got arthritis in the hips, but
he's off the juice.
He's off the juice, right? I mean, look, it could go either way, this way and that way, but the reality of it is, it's like, I think when I look at Zuffa Boxing, in my opinion, what they need to do is stop pumping it up so much and let it grow organically, because what they're basically doing, in my opinion, is what Vince did with Roman in the beginning, shoving it down your throat, saying this is the greatest thing, this is the best thing, okay? Which it's not yet. So if you're a casual fan watching what Jay did with all the hype that they put on it, how many of those people are going to come back?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. For me personally, I don't have a problem with Zuffa. Maybe in 10 years they'll be legitimate. Right now they're not. And that's just the way it is. They gotta get in there, right? As far as the sanctioning bodies go, this and that. Sorry?
Well, eventually they're definitely legitimate. They just need to sign more people, and the people are coming. Like they're slowly going to start plucking guys, right? So the problem is how I know they're legitimate is Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren and De La Hoya. They keep taking stabs at Dana. That's how you know they're worried about him. If they weren't worried about him,
yeah, that's fine. It's fine and dandy. But I think the other
to me, when I think of Dana White and Eddie Hearn, to me Eddie Hearn is Tony Khan. You know, kind of a weak guy. He's crying. He's a little baby sort of mentality. Dana White's like a Vince McMahon, right? So you're going to have Dana White's going to keep on. Now that Eddie Hearn started dissing on Dana White, Eddie attacked first, by the way. Dana's going to keep hammering this guy out. It's a fight that he doesn't want. Not even a physical fight. It's a fight that Eddie doesn't want.
No, it's fine and it's entertaining, but I don't think Zuffa
Dana can get really low.
Dude, honestly, I think Zuffa becomes legitimate once the sanctioning bodies recognize them. Honestly, and the reason I say that is after what we saw with Jay, okay, with the IBF, Jay's now filing lawsuits against the IBF and the other sanctioning bodies, you know, for this and that. They need to clear up that confusion before any, you know, like I think a lot of the big names that you're talking about that we're thinking about that could potentially go over there, you know, are probably looking at the situation and thinking, well, okay, how are we going to get the fights that we want? Because right now, Jai Opetaia is.
Well, I think eventually Dana White. I don't think Dana White cares about the sanctioning bodies. Eventually, his plan is going to be cruiserweight Zuffa, heavyweight Zuffa, lightweight, welterweight Zuffa. One belt, not 100 belts, not four different belts. Fine. They're gonna eventually push these guys out. This is his plan. Will it work? I don't know, but that's the game plan here.
I don't know, dude. I don't think that's possible.
Well, he wants to make it that the Zuffa heavyweight belt will be the number one belt, not the WBA, WBC, all these different organizations. One belt, one heavyweight champion in the world, like he does with UFC. UFC heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Eventually, that's his plan, though.
Yeah, I know that's his plan. I know that's his plan, but it's going to be a hard road, man, to get to that, honestly. Because, I mean...
It all depends on the fighters they bring over. If they start getting the fighters over, the WBC guys will have no...
If that starts to happen, but I don't see it happening that way, because right now, you have Jay saying, I want to fight the winner of Zurdo and Benavidez, right? That's not going to happen. That will not happen right now. I don't know why.
What I'm saying is they're going to keep. They just started 4 cards in. They're going to keep bringing these guys over. Dana White guys ain't going away. It's going to be a big problem.
What Zuffa needs to do is get out of the apex. You've run 4 shows. I get that. But the longer you keep running your shows in your backyard at your house, you know what I mean? Like, they need to start getting out. They need to. Vegas is huge, right? Like, they can go to one of their showrooms in the Vegas where they do slap if they wanted to. Just get it out of the apex.
Yeah, but they got to have. They will eventually, but they got to start building up. They got to have some better fighters to do that, right? They got a prospect card is good and fine and dandy. You're not going to get many people buying tickets for that.
The prospect card is great. It's great, but it's not going to attract the casual fan, and the casual fan has a short attention span, which is why I'm saying they need to step it up or stop promoting it the way they are. Promote it for what it is, so people understand and aren't let down, because a lot of people were let down by Sunday. For me, it was a great.
I don't know why. I don't know what they're expecting.
No, like, because this is a casual fan I'm talking about, right? Not boxing fans. You didn't hear boxing. No boxing fans are complaining. We saw a great fight. We saw a guy do what he was supposed to do. We saw a guy try to do what he was supposed to do. We saw them, you know, not be able to get past that impasse of each other, right? Jay's fate was marked up. He got tagged a few times. You know, Brandon just didn't go down. The guy's he's tough, right? So, you know, you got your champion. Everything is beautiful. But until they can figure it out with the sanctioning bodies, who still have a major role in everything.
Right now they do, yeah, absolutely.
This is just the beginning. I mean, what you're predicting and what potentially could happen, I don't see that happening or playing out within the next 5 years. It's a long growth.
I think eventually, what's going to happen here eventually in the next year or two, I don't know which one it could be. It could be Bob, it could be Oscar, it could be Al. One of these guys is going to fold and say, you know what, Zuffa, buy me out. Here's my fighters. And once they get
like I said,
and if they get something like that,
yeah,
Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, won't matter. You guys are in big trouble now.
No, 100%.
That's what Dana White's planning on doing here. I don't know which guy will do it. Could be Bobby.
Yeah.
I don't
Potentially,
know.
we don't know. But the other thing is, like I said, what is like there's so many different angles we're looking at here. The other piece is what if Turkey says, okay, I don't have money now, not the kind of money that we want. So where are those big names going to come from?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if he swipes up one of these other promoters, takes their whole brand with them, they sell them, we won't need Turkey's big money anymore.
And that has to happen quicker than not, because the way everything's going right now, most guys have lost their biggest names to the ring.
I could see Bob. Bob's. He's not an alpha male like a Vince McMahon. But here's the thing with a guy like Bob. What did Vince McMahon do? He sold his company and gave nothing to his family. Right now, Bob has a son-in-law, Todd DuBois, who's sort of like a Triple H kind of guy. There's no way Bob is giving this guy his company. He's like Vince in that sense. It's not giving him top rank. You didn't build it. You married my daughter. You ain't taking this, pal. So Bob is either going to sell to be the Dana in Turkey, or something's going to happen in the next year or two. Because if Bob can't get a TV deal, he's going to start getting pissed off and be like, you can't make these deals for me, Todd. Dana, take my fighters. Here's my stable. Away you go. But trust me, they're not giving up. No father-in-law is giving their son-in-law an empire. Unless it's your own kid. So something's going to happen. I think it'd be top rank. I think, honestly, I don't know, though. We'll see.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, the doors are open. We don't know. All we can do is speculate and guess and make predictions.
And now
right?
Jake Paul's going at Dana a little bit too now, right? So it's fun, man. It's good. Everybody's going to everybody. This is good. This is competition, right? We got Jake Paul and MVP doing great things on the women's side. He's got a deal with ESPN. Good for Jake Paul. Great businessman. Super smart guy.
Honestly, I think I think what Jake and MVP are doing is amazing. One reason, okay, not because of all the girls and the way they've kind of done that. They're building their brand without saying shit about anyone else.
Well, he's trashing on Dana White now, but yeah,
no. But I mean, that's only because of that card that they're having, with Ronda and whatnot, right? Ronda and Gina, and now Francis there, right? I think the biggest fear that Dana has, like you have John Jones asking for his release now, right? He's not going to release him. He won't.
Why would he?
Well, he's going to keep him. He's going to do what Tony Khan's doing to Jericho.
Yeah, smart.
Right?
Yeah,
he's been doing it to Conor for years.
Yep.
Right? So reality is, because he knows now that Francis is out there, that fight can potentially happen without Dana. And it's going to be huge money. Right?
Yep.
Right? And
I don't think
I have to give credit to Dana White. Like, the one thing is, he says he wants everyone to make money. I will give him his respect there, and I give him his flowers, right? Ronda Rousey, said that in the press conference as well, where she talked about that, this initially we tried to get it done with the UFC. Okay. But then they signed that big deal, a $7 billion deal.
But Ronda's a whiner, though. She did the same thing with Vince McMahon, complaining about it. I'm not complaining about it. No. She's just an unhappy person. She's like CM Punk of women.
No. I that's your opinion. Fair play. Yeah. Okay. And I'm not that far away from what you believe. Okay. But in this sense, she was pretty forefront and truthful about it, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, this isn't a Dana problem. This is a Mark Shapiro and Ari problem. These two guys, because let's be honest, Dana's an employee now. Okay. No. Meaning wise, he's basically he doesn't have the same control that he did before Endeavor and then bought them up.
Well, he still runs. He still makes the matches. He's still their face.
Well, but he doesn't have that same pull that he did, where he could have made that fight if he wanted to.
Well, he's not the money guy, but he's
right. But he has to go through those other guys to get it done, to get the okay. That's what I mean.
Big money fights, but he still makes the fight.
Right. But he still makes the other fights, but the big money fights, like the Ronda one, that could have probably been on this card. You know what? Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey on the White House card would have sold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that was the plan. Okay. Shapiro and Ari don't want to give anybody anything. A $7 billion deal you figure everyone gets a little piece of that pie, especially the guys that got you the deal. The people are stepping into the octagon, the people stepping into the ring, putting up their gloves, risking their lives, risking their health. Those are the guys that are making you the money guys.
Yes, but if that's true, but the other side of the coin is they don't pay that kind of money. If they don't buy this business, you're not going to get paid half what you're getting paid to. That's how they're looking at it too. We're the owners. We think what you're giving is fair. We're not going to overpay for you. We're not turkey. That's their mentality. So it's a tough one to say, right? The whole problem with this TKO thing, the missing link, and Dana White said it, the best boss, it was a short time he ever had, was Vince McMahon. If Vince was still on the TKO board, we wouldn't see half of this mess. He would have all this stuff.
No, then that's it, right? And like I said,
and I feel bad for Ari because he only did this and merged because Vinny was going to run the show, and then Vinny had to get out, and that screwed this whole thing up.
Well, like I said, I mean, hopefully this thing gets cleared up pretty quick here, right?
Because I can't believe bare knuckle. Like, you don't sell your company to Vince McMahon, who was going to give you more than it's worth. Vince McMahon would have made bare knuckle way more entertaining. Like, why not sell it to him?
I get it. That's their mistake. That's their mistake, and they're gonna realize it later on here, right? But I mean, you know what we haven't talked about? The card in Egypt. Usyk coming back to fight Nico.
Yeah, the
kickboxer. What the hell?
Money, man. Cool venue. It's gonna be a cool setting.
No, it's just silly. Usyk
got 3 fights left.
He has 3 fights left. He's got this one. Yeah, this one, and then he wants the winner of Dubois Wardley, and then he wants to finish his career against Greedy Belly. Right? So, I mean, we get that. So, we got the Egypt card. So, I mean, instead of spending money on this kind of stuff, like, I get it, but what's the draw if you're in North America?
Well, I don't know, but
there's no draw.
Well, it's not really for North American fans.
I'm trying to look past to the UK because it's easy to get soaked up into the UK scene because they have so much boxing, right? And when you look at North America, what does this card?
But if you look at all the pay-per-views, UK's never had top pay-per-views. We've always had the best pay-per-view guys: Mayweather, Pac, you got Tyson. Besides Lennox Lewis, if you want to call him a UK guy, they don't have the top pay-per-views. We got him here.
Well, look, but they don't have
They're more hardcore. They do with the small little Frank Orange was on his own.
But dude, they run bigger shows in the UK than they do in North America.
But they don't get the pay-per-view. People don't mind the pay-per-views though. Like
not in North America, but they're making their money.
No, overall. No. I'm talking overall.
Oh,
they're
doing okay.
All the top 10 pay-per-views all time has one UK guy on them, Lewis. Everything else all Americans. Okay, and that's including everybody.
That's fine. But I'm saying regionally,
are they more passionate over there? Sure, maybe. But when the big fights come, the North American boys, we actually buy the pay-per-views and we show up for it. This whole Usyk thing is a spectacle. It's money. It's something different. He's going to fight a champion kickboxer and a cool venue, and it's trying to be different.
Having the belt on the line makes no sense.
That doesn't giving us something to get excited for. He could lose it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he could. He could potentially, right? But it just I don't know.
This fight is a huge risk for Usyk. Like, Nico's got nothing to lose. If he loses to one of the greatest boxers of all time, oh well. If somehow he clips Usyk's going to look like a fool. Big risk for Usyk. I don't think that's going to happen. But it's a huge risk.
No, dude. I mean, he has boxing skills because kickboxing, right? I mean, he's got the added element of the kicks, right? But the man can still box. So it'd be different if it was. It'd be a safer fight.
His boxing's not world-class level, though. You know what I mean?
Like, no. True enough. I mean, I think Usyk still walks circles around the guy, but you know what I mean? He always had that chance of getting clipped.
I'd be like, cool venue. You're fighting a boxer. I'm not going to risk you losing. We have this problem with our Abbotsford fights. I was telling one of the guys, I won't mention his name because he's my friend. He's my old boxing coach. But I told him last show, not this show, the show before, I said, do not put. I won't even want to say his name because I know what I'm talking about. I said, this guy's a Canadian.
Just go ahead. It's okay. It's cool.
No, I don't want to the bus. This guy's a Canadian bare knuckle champion. Okay. And we're putting him in a boxing fight in his hometown of Abbotsford. And I saw who his opponent was. I didn't know who he was. I did some research on the guy. I said, no, don't put him here. If we knock out, our hometown fighter gets knocked out in his hometown, we're going to have 800 people here. The next show that you do, you're going to have 300 to 400 people here. What happens? Grayson gets knocked out. Last fight we had with 300 to 400 people here. But that's the thing is, like, put him against a tough fighter. On the pro level, that's different. Now, if we're in Vegas, you put the best for the best. But if you're fighting locally, you got to put your fighter against a guy to give him a little bit of the edge.
Well, that last card they had, there was really nobody on that card from that was local, like in that area, right? From the valley. So
we had one guy from Matrix. The main fight, Gagan, who's a local guy, his fighter pulled out like 2 nights before. So I heard it. But either way, like you see, you gotta be careful with your matchmaking, and I would never let Usyk fight a kickboxer. Why risk it?
Who are we, man? We're just a couple analysts living on the West Coast.
I know. I'm just saying, like, this is so much to lose. Now, if he's retired doing exhibitions, sure. But I wouldn't risk it personally.
No, fair play.
Win, but...
All right. Well, listen, man. I mean, I think this has been fun. I hope everybody wins because at the end of the day, it gives us more to watch and break down, right? But my advice, for what it's worth, to Dana and Zuffa, is promote it at the level that it needs to be promoted. Don't promote it bigger than it is, because you're just going to lose more people to tune in.
That'll never happen, dude. They're promoters. They want to tell you this is the best card. If they tell you,
I get that. If
they say to you, this card won't be that great, and if they're not enthusiastic about it, you won't be.
I'm not saying that's what they say, but promote it within its means. Right?
But
you're still not going to talk it down. I'm not saying talk it down.
No,
but this is an average card.
You can't. You got to promote it as good as any other card, because if you don't, if you're not excited about it yourself, if you can't sell it as a promoter,
I get that. I just figure
whether it's BS or not, right?
No, I get it. I just kind of, I just want to see them win. I want to see everybody win. I feel there's a lot out there, right? You know, but at the end of the day, I guess we're just going to sit back and watch and then eat some popcorn and diet, Coke Zero and Pepsi Zero.
For me, I don't care who. Well, I'm obviously biased Top Rank because I love Bob Arum. I love the card he does, right? But for me, the best man, best promotion wins, and we don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be so many moving pieces here. There's stuff that's going to happen. We're not even thinking about or talking about. Who knows what can happen tomorrow with these guys? 1 minute they hate each other. The next minute they're working together. 4 years ago, De La Hoya was saying Bob's still got the business. I said, I love Bob. He's the mentor to me.
Look, everybody come to him eventually, right? So let's see how that plays out. But like I said, I think my interest is really the money flow. How that's going to be affected here as long as these international issues persist. Because it's not as small as people think what's happening in the world, right?
I'll tell you one thing right now. That promo that Dana White cut was better than any promo I've heard in wrestling in a long time. He ripped Bob Arum. Yeah. Ripped Eddie Hearn. Yeah. He ripped De La Hoya. Yeah. And everything he said about those three guys was right. De La Hoya, your own fighters are suing you. This is going on and on and on. These guys you do not want to pick a fight with Dana White.
Well, Dana's not going to talk about the dirty laundry in his house either, right?
It doesn't matter. That's for their job. He's not going to insult them. That's for their job to do it. Yeah. But the more they fight Dana, the more he's going to stomp on. Dana's an alpha male. He doesn't.
I get that, but Dana's an alpha male with a lot of people behind him to make him an alpha male. Let's not forget that. Okay, of course. But if that starts to dry up, then what's Dana going to do? Because he's not going to get money from Shapiro and Ari.
I don't know. I'm not. Dude, these fights are besides Conor Ben, they're not paying me that much. This is this middle of the road fight stuff. What I'm saying is, De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn, you poked the bear. You guys have been De La Hoya and Dana have been going at it for a while. Yeah. Eddie Hearn is Tony Khan. He's a very soft guy. He acts tough. Now he's saying Dana White will punch your lights out. Like that's pay-per-view of the year right there. Eddie Hearn, Dana White, 10 rounds of boxing. Let's do it.
It'd be fun. It'd be interesting to see. I think it'd be a horrible, aesthetically unpleasing looking fight, but it'd be fun anyway. It's the spectacle of it all.
I don't know. Eddie Hearn, like a good for Eddie Hearn for defending himself, and you started this, Eddie Hearn. Dana said nothing about you. You started insulting him. Nah, you don't poke that bear, my man.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Okay, so listen, I think we kind of covered everything up. We got Gabby Fandora. I think that's probably the biggest name for me, anyways, on this side.
Well, we got the Fandora fight. We got the Sims versus Barboza fight. I put all the write-ups on X.
Yeah, and then so there are some decent fights here. Gabby, she's awesome, man. I'm surprised she hasn't signed with MVP yet. She's loyal to PBC. So she's a dominant champion, man. She's one champion that people don't talk about. She can fight, right? Oh, yeah. Both that brother and sister combination are killer. So this is a little warm up. So Gabby's going to set the stage for her big brother, who fights Thurman, coming up here shortly as well. So that should be something interesting to watch. Other than that, brother, man.
Gabby is 17-09 KOs, only 23 years old. Just
Yeah, she's solid, man. She is
very
solid.
last.
She is solid. All right, my man. So it's once again, it's time for Chance Michaels international and Canadian boxing history. What do we got today, brother?
All right, we're going to Canada here. March 10th, 1947, the birth of Clyde Gray, a legendary welterweight from Windsor, Ontario. Gray, with an amazing record, 69-11, was a top contender in the 70s, challenging for the WBA welterweight title against Jose Napoles in 1978. He lost in a close decision. But he's remembered as one of Canada's toughest fighters during the golden era, with solid opposition and always durable. Never got the belt, was close. But what a record, 69-11. Can't go wrong with that.
No,
and
sir.
Then we're going to go back to one of the most famous fighters of all time here. We're going March 8th, 1971. Ali faced Fraser at MSG in one of the most hype significant bouts billed ever, as this was going to build as fight of the century. It was Ali's first fight after his boxing license was restored following his refusal to go in the Vietnam War. Fraser was reigning WBA, WBC ring and lineal champion, entering undefeated. Ali also was undefeated before this layoff. The fight lived up to the billing, a brutal back and forth over 15 rounds. Fraser won by UD, famously flooring Ali in the 15th round via left hook.
And the rest is history, man. Then we go on to the Thrilla in Manila in 75.
Yeah.
Classics, man. Beautiful fights, beautiful history.
Good stuff.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, Mr.
There's so
Michaels.
the one more thing, there's so many local, you don't even realize how many local boxing fights are. We don't want an Abbotsford. Now there's one in Mission coming up this Friday. But this is at the local club because my buddy brings the rings all, so I get all the insides.
Awesome.
Like, so many local fights, but boxing is hard to put on a big boxing show in Vancouver because it doesn't draw that well. Unless you have a hometown guy, you can get about 800 people. Other than that, it's a tough sell. This fight here will buy like 100 people, 200 people, right?
Well, hey, man,
it's tough. It's a lot of money to buildings, right?
Everyone starts from somewhere. We started from scratch, and in order to build yourself up, you got to work hard. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the show again. Guys, just keep working hard. Don't give up on your dreams. Believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities. Don't let anyone tell you different, because anyone telling you different doesn't want you to succeed. I've been saying it for years and years and years, man. Have faith and have patience in yourself and in anything that you do, and you will become successful if you give it the time to grow. You can plant an apple tree seed, but it doesn't grow apples right away. It takes time, right? Just with everything else, maturity and just self-awareness, you become better people. That's all I got to say about that. I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. We will see you guys August 13th and everything else in between. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Chance Michaels. This is Samp&Chance Boxing. We will catch you next Thursday.